I haven't built a brand.
Okay.
I've built a business. मैंने धंधा बनाया. ब्रांड वो ही है जो लोग खरीद रहे हैं, राइट? एक अच्छा सोशल मीडिया पेज ब्रांड नहीं है, एक अच्छा ब्रांड कैंपेन ब्रांड नहीं है. अगर लोग आपका प्रोडक्ट रिपीटेडली खरीद रहे हैं तो आप ब्रांड हो. But I was not able to create enough wealth to buy myself my dream car, which I did now.
Which car is it? Right.
So I've taken more than 100 crores money home. Because धंधा आप क्यों बनाते हो? You build a business to bloody earn money. And for everyone who listens to this podcast, manifestation से बड़ी कोई भी चीज़ नहीं है. आप जो सोचते हो आप वो ही हो. There was a time when I wanted money and I told Mr. Tapadia कि यार आशु सर मेरे को एग्जिट चाहिए थोड़ा सा, मेरे को इतने पैसे चाहिए, मेरे को क्या करना है? मैं कहा मेरे को 1000 गज के घर में रहना है. And he said तू पागल है.
How do you define it? What does a man with 100 crores actually do? Welcome to the Indian Silicon Valley podcast. I'm your host Jivraj, and today I have with me a very special guest. Join me in welcoming the Perfume Man of India, Aakash Anand. Thank you so much for joining me, Aakash. Very delighted to be hosting you.
Hey Jivraj, happy to be here. You've been amazing at what you've been doing, so I'm excited.
Thank you so much. I think you've been very, very kind. I've enjoyed all the brief interactions we've had, and I'm looking forward to developing a very meaningful relation over a period of time. But you're one of the most fascinating people I've spoken to because you've built a brand in, the least amount of time, but the largest perhaps in the category that you're in, which is very, very difficult because people say these things like, consumer brands are done, they won't grow, no white spaces left in India, CACs are very high, blah, blah, blah. Talk to us about how this journey has been before we go into the deeper aspects of some of these things.
So yeah, Jivraj, you just mentioned that I've built a brand in a very less period of time. So I'd like to correct you there. I haven't built a brand.
Okay.
I've built a business. मैंने धंधा बनाया. ठीक है. मेरा धंधा brand बन गया. Right? Because I only focused at building a business. So when I launched Bella Vitta, the idea was very simple that what can I sell to consumers today, which is also my problem statement. Right? Because I consider myself to be the part of that 99% of Indians who's a lazy consumer, जिसको अपने पैसे की full value चाहिए, full पैसा वसूल चाहिए, मेहनत भी कम करनी है, पर results भी super fast चाहिए. Right? तो इसलिए when I created Bella Vitta, the idea was कि धंधा बनाना है, products ऐसे बनाने हैं जो लोगों के काम करें. That's why my entire effort, in the beginning, and a lot of founders told me यार तू brand नहीं बना रहा, तू brand नहीं बना रहा, तू brand नहीं बना रहा, because मेरे सारे efforts गए to put my मेहनत inside the bottle, not outside the bottle. So if you today Google Bella Vitta or Bella Vitta Organic and see our posts or products from 2018 to 2020, you would say the packaging or the creativity is absolutely shit. मैं बोलोगे यार ये क्या है, कि कोई सिमेट्री नहीं है. मेरा एक प्रोडक्ट वाइट कलर का है तो दूसरा प्रोडक्ट ब्राउन कलर का है, तीसरा ग्रीन कलर का है, एक की क्रिएटिव लैंग्वेज एक्स है तो दूसरे की वाई है. एक्सेप्ट फॉर द लोगो आप ये बोल ही नहीं सकते कि दोनों प्रोडक्ट्स एक ही ब्रांड के हैं, पर वो दोनों प्रोडक्ट्स एक ही धंधे के थे. तो मेरा धंधा ब्रांड बन गया क्योंकि जब मैंने धंधा बड़ा कर लिया, आई हैड इनफ मनी और माई फंड हैड इनफ मनी, द कंपनी, टू हायर द राइट पीपल टू देन ब्रिंग इन ब्रांड सिमेट्री or brand synergy. But till then I only focus on my product and the pricing of it, on how can I give consumers an affordable product which solves their problem, caters to their need and targets a lazy consumer of India.
Got it. Wow. This is already so fascinating. Maybe let's take a step back, right? To those who may not be familiar, क्योंकि आप इतनी चीज़ें कर रहे हो, right? There's a house of brands, there's something in skincare, the perfume we all know about and we've all consumed and loved. Now there's been an exit, there's a fund which has come in. Talk to us about very briefly what is the scope of your work, क्या कर रहे हो आप, and what does your day-to-day look like right now?
So I started Bella Vitta and then I never raised funds because we were profitable all along. I raised funds from, a family office and now a private equity firm, we call it, not a family office, called Ananta Capital. It's led by the Tapadia family and, headed by Mr. Ashutosh Tapadia, who, and they had a pharmaceutical business that they sold for close to $1 billion in 2015, and since then they've been multiplying their wealth. So a great Marwadi family, with great wealth and fantastic business skills, right? So I had offers from a lot of VCs, but I said, यार मैंने धंधा build किया है तो उन्हीं के साथ partnership करूँगा जो मेरे साथ धंधे बना सकेंगे, right? Business बना सकेंगे. And now the fund is led by a very, very unique gentleman called Lavkesh Kapoor, who's also my partner, who I look up to, and he's a fantastic guy at creating sanity in a business or in a brand and creating the right structure, right? And knows what has to be done. So when Ananta Capital stepped in, I took a massive secondary, and you know everyone knows this. I've taken more than 100 crores of secondary. तो secondary मतलब जो मैं पैसा घर लेके जा चुका हूँ.
Right.
So I've taken more than 100 crores money home. You know, because धंधा आप क्यों बनाते हो? You build a business to bloody earn money. Yeah. And my idea was that I have to earn money. I have to be a 100 crore rupee guy. So after that happened, Ananta Capital invested money in Bella Vitta. We scaled Bella Vitta together. We were able to get the right team between the three of us, Ashu, Lavkesh and myself. We got the right team, scaled the business together. Once we saw Bella Vitta becoming stable, I said, यार मेरे को ये करना आता है. मेरे को एक जीरो धंधे को बिल्ड करके उसको महीने का 10, 12, 15 करोड़ पे ले जाना आता है. Then I started finding more people like me. Then I came across a brand called Bevzilla, the coffee brand. We picked it up at close to 12 lakh rupees a month about 16, 18 months back. Today it does 2.5 crores a month, almost profitable. And Amazon pe bestseller hai. You go to Amazon, search for coffee, you'll see Bevzilla on top.
Wow.
What changed? We were able to identify one single innovation of what consumers need. हमने कुछ नहीं किया, 100 ग्राम की कॉफी को 2-2, 3-3 ग्राम के पाउचेस में कन्वर्ट कर दिया. एंड पीपल वांट दैट. तो वो टपरी पे, लोगों के घरों में, ऑफिस में, हर जगह, होटल्स में, क्विक यूज. Solve the problem. People loved it, bought it. Then we started picking up more businesses. You know, we'll go in later. And I purposely say businesses because we believe create a business automatically becomes a brand. Brand वो ही है जो लोग खरीद रहे हैं, right? एक अच्छा सोशल मीडिया पेज ब्रांड नहीं है, एक अच्छा ब्रांड कैंपेन ब्रांड नहीं है. अगर लोग आपका प्रोडक्ट रिपीटेडली खरीद रहे हैं तो आप ब्रांड हो. पतंजलि ब्रांड है, पतंजलि की पैकेजिंग may not be that greatest, but ब्रांड है. So anyway, the three of us started building a lot of businesses. Ananta Capital today has companies like Springwell Mattresses, Guardian Pharmacies, GNC Protein, Bella Vita, Bevzilla, and a few more very, very fantastic businesses that we've acquired, which will be released or launched or exposed in the next 2 to 3 months. So the idea was to create wealth, to create businesses, and be with people who know how to scale up companies. You know, and that's where Ananta Capital stepped in. So once I started running Bella Vitta with them, the synergies were so awesome that we created a hierarchy at Bella Vitta where Bella Vitta is now run by 8 CXOs.
Wow.
And that's handled by Lavkesh and me jointly, mostly Lavkesh. My strength is innovation. So now I focus on creating new businesses for us, for Ananta Capital. Lavkesh's strength is funding, to create hierarchy, to create structure, to manage everything, and that's what he does the best. So he's handling all these companies. Ashu's strength is to get money. He's the money man. So his strength is to create capital for us. Plus, he is a visionary. उनको आज एक प्रोडक्ट या एक बिजनेस बता दो, वो उसकी पूरी डाइसेक्टिंग करके बता देते हैं कि अगले 5 साल कैसा दिखेगा. एंड ही ड्राफ्ट द एंटायर पत्री फॉर इट. सो व्हाटएवर ही सेज वी फॉलो and we do the best of our abilities and our uniqueness. मैं इनोवेट करता हूँ, लवकेश चीज़ों को मैनेज करते हैं और आशु हमारे को ग्रो करने के लिए पैसा और विजन लेके आते हैं. So that's how we work.
Brilliant. Wow, that's the dream team, and loving the enthusiasm, innovation that you bring on the table. It's just visible when you speak as well. ये बताओ, what was your early days like? How did you get into this business anyway, right? Like, were you always very entrepreneurial? What was early days in childhood like?
Yeah, I've been very entrepreneurial. I mean, when I was in 10th standard, I used to sell Reliance के CDMA phones आए थे उस वक्त. So I used to sell Reliance CDMA phones, and I don't think I've taken a penny from my father since I went to college, except for the college fees in the beginning. And finished my schooling, went to Malaysia, then moved to UK, then came to Singapore. So I've had my education across 3 different countries. I come from a privileged family, so my father was able to afford a lot of great things for me in life. Went to GD Goenka. That time it was one of the happening schools to be in. So I won't say कि बहुत गरीबी के दिन देखे, नहीं. I come from a privileged background, but my father was an entrepreneur, so still is. उनको देख के हमेशा चुल होती थी कि यार मुझे भी पैसा कमाना है, खुद करना है और किसी से मांगना नहीं है. And I think that worked for me the best. I tried a few ventures. So Bella Vitta was my successful venture after 5 failures. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने Bella Vitta start किया, I'm a miracle boy and scaled Bella Vitta. No, Bella Vitta was my 5th venture. I've had 4 failures before that, but बहुत छोटे failures. Failures का मतलब मैं ये बोलता हूँ कि पैसा कमाया but wealth creation नहीं करी. I was able to meet my living, but I was not able to create enough wealth to buy myself my dream car, which I did now.
Which car is it?
Yeah, so I've booked something very, very big, but right now I drive a Merc E-Class. So yeah, wouldn't want to name it right now.
Got it. No, in due time. Next time के लिए कुछ बचा लेंगे.
Correct.
But on the subject of wealth, right? Like a lot of people who've eventually gone to the other side of wealth creation say that it's about freedom, it's about control of time. How do you define it? What does a man with 100 crores actually do?
Yeah, wealth creation is not just 100 crores. Wealth creation could also be 10 crores for someone. For example, I used to dream कि यार बेला वीटा जब मैं कर रहा था कि यार कोई मेरे को इस कंपनी के भी 30 करोड़ भी दे देगा ना, मैं बेच दूंगा, मैं कुछ और कर लूँगा. Because I had a certain goal in mind. My goal was, for me, financial freedom is कि अपनी औकात अनुसार मैं कहीं भी घूम रहा हूँ. औकात अनुसार इज द कीवर्ड. मतलब आई कांट बी जस्ट क्रॉसिंग अ लुटियंस और अ शोरूम एंड से यार ये बेंटले मुझे आज खरीदनी है एंड आई कैन अफोर्ड इट. दैट्स स्टूपिडिटी. औकात अनुसार मीन्स इफ आई एम एट अ मॉल and I'm at Emporium and I see a Louis Vuitton belt and I want to buy it, I should be able to buy it, right? So financial freedom for anyone is कि आप अपनी औकात अनुसार अगर कुछ चीज़ बिना सोचे खरीद सकते हो तो आप financially free हो, right? So if anyone can create that financial freedom for them, life sorted. So I've created that for me. So for me, after this 100, 150, 200 crore rupee wealth, अब वो 1000 हो या 2000 हो या 5000 करोड़, it won't matter for me because my lifestyle is set. I live in a plush house. I have 3 beautiful cars. My kids go to the best school. My wife buys whatever she wants to buy. My parents take trips once a month. I take a trip once a month. I don't need to worry about a salary. The recurring income or the passive income I've created from my wealth creation is enough to take care of me after beating inflation my whole life. So that's financial freedom, right? And that's how I'll define it.
Brilliant. I love it. I think that's a very, very clear explanation. Already having a lot of fun in this, but let's get into the business, right?
Sure.
When it comes to business, I realized कि research करते time मुझे ये बहुत unique लगा कि you identify very interesting spaces, right? जब आप skincare में भी थे, you identified like under eye cream, you identified this lip cream also, right? And then you've spoken about these white spaces. आज के market में लगता है everything's taken up, right? How do you go about identifying very unique spaces where businesses can be built?
I've seen a lot of founders make a lot of mistakes because I see a lot of founders on a daily basis. Founders सोचते हैं कि यार ये मेरी प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट है ना, ये बहुत बड़ी है, ये दुनिया की होगी. फाउंडर्स ये रियलाइज़ नहीं करते कि वो 1% प्रिविलेज लोगों में से हैं, जैसा इंडिया है ही नहीं. जो हम भारत बोलते हैं ना, अगर आप भारत की प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट पकड़ोगे तो अभी भी n नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स टू सॉल्व फॉर है, राइट? तो आप अपनी नब्स पकड़ के पूरे भारत का इलाज मत करो, आप देखो भारत की नब्स क्या है, राइट? सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल विद मी, I looked at myself as a consumer at Bella Vitta and I said कि यार मेरी स्किन में क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. बिकॉज वी हैड अ सलॉन जहाँ से Bella Vitta आया, तो मैंने देखना शुरू किया. आई हैड डार्क सर्कल्स, बट आई वाज लेजी, आई वाज नॉट गेटिंग इनफ स्लीप एनीवे. तो मैंने कहा यार मैजिक ट्रीटमेंट क्या है? अंडर आई क्रीम. ग्रेट. वुड अ कंज्यूमर लाइक मी पुट एन आई अ डार्क सर्कल जेल एवरी नाइट एंड स्लीप? यस. तो ऐसे डी करते हैं, सस्ता बनाएंगे, लोग खरीदेंगे. आई हैड अ टैंड नेक, राइट? आई वाज ऑल्सो बिट ओवरवेट, सो आई हैड दिस डार्क पैचेस ऑन माई नेक. तो मैंने देखा कि एक फेशियल चल रहा था सैलून में, तो दे वर ब्लीचिंग हर द लेडीज़ नेक. तो ऐसे मेरे भी ब्लीच लगा दे. तो उसने कहा सर ब्लीच नहीं, आप स्क्रब करो. तो मैंने कहा फैंटास्टिक है यार, मैं स्क्रब बनाता हूँ और 90% इंडियंस की गर्दन पे टैन होता है. स्क्रब बनाता हूँ कॉफ़ी और वॉलनट मिला के, और स्क्रब ऐसा बनाता हूँ. तो मैंने स्क्रब में क्या किया, मैंने कहा स्क्रब ऐसा बनाता हूँ कि ड्राई स्क्रब होना चाहिए, नो क्रीम. आपके घर में क्रीम है, आप निविया यूज़ करो, फॉरेस्ट यूज़ करो, मामा जो मर्जी यूज़ करो. मिक्स माई स्क्रब विद द क्रीम यू हैव, और विद योर बॉडी वॉश और विद योर सोप, व्हाटएवर. मैं आपको बस एक इंग्रेडिएंट दे रहा हूँ जिससे आप स्क्रबिंग करो. फ्लू विद पीपल स्टार्टेड बाइंग इट. Feet, launched something called Feet Love, a foot cream. So similarly, launched a lot of products for the lazy consumer. And if you're able to launch something for the lazy consumer, and perfume is the biggest example, right? Perfume में क्या है? उठाया, spray किया, चले गए. It's zero inertia. So I learned something very good from Lavkesh, my partner and my mentor, that you create something which is zero inertia, you win. So for example, today people would not like to go to the gym every day, but they would spend 10 times the money to eat a magic pill that can reduce weight for them. So people love investing on allopathic and not a homeopathy and not on Ayurveda and not. Correct. So people want to pay for cure and not for prevention, right? So if you can just create cures, wow, you win the game. So for every founder, start creating cures. देखो इंडिया में exactly problem क्या चल रही है. And I'll put this out there. I'll give you 3 दिन पहले का example. My wife is an interior designer. Okay, she's been struggling to say यार आकाश, I've been doing projects. अब हम नया क्या करें interior design में? It's full of people. Today आप Google पे जाओ interior designer search करो, आपको हज़ारों मिलेंगे. We've had 2 kids. So we wanted to do our kids' room. We could not find one. So my wife is now starting a company. She's naming it, I forgot, very, very unique name, Kuchi Puchi. She's naming it Kuchi Puchi. And her idea is very simple, to be the only interior design firm in India to start with, who can create a kids' room for you from 3 to 5 lakh rupees, that's it. Wow. With easy EMIs. So anyone wants to search kids' room, she's the person to go to and who creates furniture, wallpaper, playing pads for kids in their room. And that's it. तो आपको हर बड़ी स्पेस में नीश मिल जाती है, आप उस नीश पे बिल्ड करो और फिर उस स्पेस में पूरा घुस जाओ.
Wow. Yeah. Love it. This is very, very golden, Aakash. Thank you so much for sharing. अब let's go to the fact कि इन मार्केट्स को हम ओवर इंटेलेक्चुअलाइज नहीं कर सकते, राइट? कभी कभी लोग देखते हैं कि चलो परफ्यूम का मार्केट देखा, 5-6 बड़े ब्रांड्स हैं बट वो काफ़ी बड़े भी नहीं है, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब फ्रैगमेंटेड है बट इनकम्बेंट नहीं है टू बीट. यू कुड वेरी वेल बी लाइक यार शायद नहीं बनेगा यहाँ पे बिजनेस. हाउ डू यू सिंप्लीफाई थिंग्स एज अपोज टू थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेट एज अ फाउंडर?
यार लोग ना बहुत बड़ा सोचते हैं. फाउंडर्स की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या है? आप सोचो ना, आज से 20 साल पहले आप न्यूज़ में पढ़ते थे अंबानी ने ये कर लिया, अंबानी ने वो कर लिया, तो क्या आप सोचते थे कि यार मैं भी ऐसा कर सकता हूँ? नहीं. लोगों की सोच ही नहीं होती थी कि अंबानी ने कर लिया तो मैं भी कर लूँ. बट अब हम लोग देखते हैं कि यार आकाश ने ये कर लिया, वरुण अलग ने ये कर लिया, XYZ इन फाउंडर्स ने ये कर लिया, निखिल कामत ने ये कर लिया, तो लोग कहते हैं मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. वाई? बिकॉज द मीडिया एंड वी आर कॉमन पीपल. पीपल डिड नॉट नो अबाउट अस, they just know about, हम भी उनके साथ बड़े हुए हैं, but Ambani was always an Ambani, right? Tata was always a Tata. Correct. But Aakash was never an Aakash. Today for my friends to learn कि यार Aakash has made more than 100 crores in the last 2.5-3 years is crazy. They can't believe, कहते झूठ बोल रहे हैं, right? But for people like you and people who follow me, for them it's common knowledge, they see it there. लोग अब रिलेट कर पाते हैं कि यार अगर एक एवरेज गाय लाइक आकाश कैन डू इट, अगर वरुण गजल कैन डू इट, अगर anyone can do it, why can't we do it? But the problem that they make, the mistake that they make, वो आज के आकाश से अपना ambition compare करने लगते हैं. And that's what kills them. They should have an ambition which Aakash had in 2018 September when he started Bella Vitta. That time's ambition was कि मेरी सैलरी अभी मेरे को जॉब में 3.5-4 लाख रुपए मिलती है, तो मुझे महीने का सिर्फ 5 लाख रुपए कमाना है. फाउंडर्स ये बोलते हैं कि यार मेरे को इतना बड़ा टाइम चाहिए कि मैं महीने का 5 करोड़ रुपए कमाऊं. अरे जब तुम 5 लाख रुपए महीने का कमाना शुरू हो जाओगे, तुम्हारा अपने आप पिवट और इनोवेशन करके यू विल स्टार्ट क्रिएटिंग अ धंधा ऑफ 5 करोड़ अ मंथ ऑल्सो. पर पहले 5 लाख तो कमाओ. So they start thinking of step N without thinking of step 0 और step 0.5 कि पहले मुझे स्टार्टअप क्या है? स्टार्टअप धंधा है. पहले आप अपनी सैलरी, अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ की सैलरी, अपने ऑफिस का रेंट, अपनी मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट ये निकालो, उसके बाद सोचना स्केल कैसे करेंगे. सो पीपल स्टार्ट लिविंग इन द फ्यूचर एंड दे फक देयर प्रेजेंट. आई एम सॉरी इफ दे स्पॉइल देयर प्रेजेंट, राइट? दैट्स ओके. सो दे स्पॉइल देयर प्रेजेंट कि नहीं यार आज मेरे को 50 करोड़ का स्टार्टअप बनाना है महीने का. नहीं यार आज आप 5 लाख का बनाओ. आप जब 5 लाख स्टेबल कर लोगे, फिर आप 50 लाख भी करोगे, फिर आप 5 करोड़ भी करोगे, फिर आप 50, देन यू कीप एडिंग योर जीरोस. मुझे नहीं लगा था ना कि मैं 50 करोड़ महीने का परफ्यूम ब्रांड बना दूंगा या परफ्यूम बिजनेस बना दूंगा. फॉर मी इट वाज वेरी सिंपल. मुझे महीने का 1 करोड़ रुपए का परफ्यूम बेचना है और 10 लाख रुपए कमाने हैं. दैट्स इट.
ब्रिलियंट, वेरी वेरी हेल्पफुल आकाश. आगे जाते हुए आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये जो बूटस्ट्रैप बिजनेसेस होते हैं, दे नो कि दे कैन फ्लाई एट देयर ओन पेस. तो अगर फास्ट भी चल रहा है तो मेरी मर्जी से चल रहा है, अगर स्लो भी चल रहा है मेरी मर्जी से चल रहा है. कंज्यूमर ब्रांड समटाइम्स यू कांट एक्सपेडाइट ग्रोथ बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट, राइट? इट्स नॉट लाइक अ टेक बिजनेस कि मतलब बना दिया, यूजर्स आते गए एंड इट स्केल्स बियॉन्ड प्रोपोर्शन. इट इज़ अ प्रोडक्ट बिजनेस. व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट दिस कि बूटस्ट्रैप वर्सेस फंडिंग, एंड व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट कंज्यूमर ब्रांड्स गोइंग बियॉन्ड अ पर्टिकुलर पेस? आपने बहुत फास्ट पेस ग्रोथ वाली कंपनी बनाई, बट सम मार्केट्स मे नॉट नीड दैट बिकॉज कंज्यूमर के साथ यू कांट प्ले विद अ बैड प्रोडक्ट, यू कांट प्ले विद अ bad consumer, right? Because that just spoils taste. What do you think about this?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, funding versus bootstrapped, right? I think bootstrapped is a way to go initially, where you are bootstrapped to help yourself find the right PMF. PMF, product market fit. Bella Vita started scaling like crazy only when we found the right PMF. जब मुझे दिख गया कि मेरा 500 रुपये में 5,000 रुपये की क्वालिटी वाला परफ्यूम बन चुका है, and people who are already buying 5,000 rupees का perfume are now switching to Bella Vita to buy a 500 rupees का perfume. I said, आशु सर, लवकेश, अनंता कैपिटल, हमारे को हमारा PMF मिल गया, भाई साहब अब पैसा डालो, इसको स्केल करो, इससे पहले कोई और स्केल करे. So founders start making mistake of, or their investors give them a vision कि यार एक काम कर, पैसा जला, PMF अपने आप मिल जाएगा. वो नहीं होता. PMF आपको बहुत पेशेंटली ढूंढना पड़ता है. और जब इट्स लाइक मैरिंग अ वुमन यार, यू गो और मैरिंग योर पार्टनर, आई एम सॉरी, यू गो थ्रू hundreds of people, but the moment you find the right person, you put a finger on them, no? You put a ring on their finger. That's what you have to do. Your PMF is like scouting the right partner for you. Once you find the partner, then you're with them for your life. The moment I cracked PMF for Bella Vitta perfumes, I don't know if people know this, Bella Vitta actually shut down skincare, which was our base. But we said यार perfume मिल गया ना, मैं क्यों loss making कुछ चलाऊं? Perfume profitable है, मैं इसको globally scale करता हूँ. What Fog did in 12-15 years, let me do it in 2 years, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
So let people, every founder should patiently wait for their PMF. और PMF हर जगह होता है यार. PMF आप अगर छोटी सी दुकान भी चला रहे हो ना, वहाँ भी आपका PMF है. आप CP में जाओ, कहीं भी जाओ, हज़ारों रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं, 100 ढाबे हैं, कुछ भी है, एक ढाबा ज़्यादा चल रहा होगा, उसको अपना PMF मिल गया. सो PMF कोई बहुत बड़ी टर्म नहीं है. PMF का मतलब है क्या आप वो बेच रहे हो जो कंज्यूमर को चाहिए उनके प्राइस पॉइंट और क्वालिटी पे. जिस दिन आपको वो मिल गया, चाहे वो सर्विस हो, प्रोडक्ट हो, जो मर्जी हो, यू सॉर्टेड.
Legendary, amazing. These are very, very helpful insights. When it comes to this CAC वाला business, right? कुछ ऐसी मतलब spaces हैं, maybe let's say you can say perfume also, जहाँ पे your ROAS and all can be high. What I'm trying to understand is लोग सोचते हैं कि customer को एक बार acquire कर लिया and ज़्यादा पैसे दे दिए तो they will retain. But that's not how it works.
It doesn't work.
Talk to us about what do you think of these high CACs, retention, how do you build that product? आपने एक podcast पे पहले बोला था कि when a founder looks at the packaging, go from their warehouse, right? वो सोचते हैं कि 1000 packages जा रहे हैं. But customer के लिए वो 1000 नहीं होता.
Correct.
Customer के लिए तो एक ही package होता है. So you have to put your heart and soul into it.
Correct.
Talk to us about some of these aspects.
यार CAC for me is a very stupid terminology to talk about. I'll tell you why. आज आप किसी भी फाउंडर से पूछो कि यार आप स्टार्टअप करने जा रहे हो, आपका क्या जर्नी होगा, तो कहता है यार बहुत सिंपल है, मैं प्रोडक्ट बनाऊंगा, मैं उसको मार्केट प्लेस पे लिस्ट करूंगा. मैं कंज्यूमर प्रोडक्ट की बात कर रहा हूँ. मैं प्रोडक्ट बनाऊंगा, मार्केट प्लेस पे लिस्ट करूंगा, अपनी D2C वेबसाइट बनाऊंगा, शॉपिफाई स्टोर बनाऊंगा, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को पकड़ूंगा, कंटेंट क्रिएट करूंगा, एंड देन आई विल क्रेजीली स्टार्ट स्पेंडिंग मनी ऑन गेटिंग अ कंज्यूमर. और मेरे प्रोडक्ट में इतना दम है कि, और सब ये बोलते हैं, घटिया से घटिया भी, अच्छे से अच्छा भी, कि मेरे प्रोडक्ट में इतना दम है दैट द मोमेंट माई कंज्यूमर बाइज माई प्रोडक्ट वन टाइम, he or she or them is gonna repeat this product again and again and again. तो मैं दूसरी या तीसरी ट्रांजैक्शन में पैसा कमाऊंगा. बॉस ऐसा नहीं होता. Consumers are not loyal. Consumers are always looking for better pricing, and the moment you create something great, there will be 10 other people, the new Akashes, who would want to create the same product at a cheaper cost and give it to the consumer. तो मेरी एक बड़ी अच्छी लाइन है, मैं ये बोलता हूँ, it's always great to be number 2 and not number 1. जो नंबर 1 कर रहा है उसको लाइमलाइट लेने दो, उसको करने दो. आप नंबर 2 बन के उसकी चीजें कॉपी करके अपनी मार्केट बनाते रहो, पैसे कमाते रहो. सो टुडे इफ आई हैव टू चूज बिटवीन फेम एंड मनी, आई वुड चूज मनी. I would not want to be number 1. I'm happy choosing money and saying, yeah, if my business is making money, I am very, very happy. I do not want to be mentioned on podcasts and events and on newspapers saying कि सबसे बड़ी कंपनी इंडिया की. मेरे को ये बोलना है सबसे प्रॉफिटेबल परफ्यूम कंपनी है इंडिया की. That's the idea. Brilliant. So that's so CAC again. हाँ, so very important point यार, Shivraj, and CAC. Imagine आज, let's say you want to start a company today. Let's say you want to sell these bottles. Okay. कहाँ लिखा है कि आपको बॉटल फेसबुक या इंस्टाग्राम पे बेचनी है या गूगल ऐड पे बेचनी है? यार आपने बॉटल कंपनी शुरू करी, आप मत, अगर आपको पता है कि आपकी बॉटल 100 रुपए की है बट योर CAC इज $400, मत बेचो ना इंस्टा पे, आप बाहर दुकान लगा लो. उसका CAC कम होगा. So anytime a founder wants to start a startup or start a business, please pause, go back 20-30 years and think कि अगर ये धंधा मेरे पिताजी या मेरे दादाजी या मेरे चाचा जी ने करना होता तो वो ये धंधा कैसे करते जब टेक्नोलॉजी एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती थी. टुडे so I know this startup who came to me recently, fantastic यार, trying to solve a massive problem. They've spent zero money on Insta, Facebook. Their entire acquisition has been free of cost through Telegram groups.
Wow.
Founders would think like that यार. जाओ ना टेलीग्राम ग्रुप पे, वहाँ पे कूपन देना शुरू करो, क्या पता आपका फर्स्ट कंज्यूमर वहाँ से आ जाए. और अगर वहाँ से कंज्यूमर आ रहा है और सेकंड टाइम बाइंग नहीं कर रहा, दैट मीन्स इट्स टाइम फॉर यू टू रीथिंक अबाउट योर प्रोडक्ट. राइट. सो व्हाई टू स्पेंड मनी? आप पहले 1000 प्रोडक्ट, आप पहले 1000 सेल्स बिना फेसबुक इंस्टा के करो, एंड इफ यू आर एबल टू अचीव दैट, यू हैव अ PMF.
Brilliant. Love it. I think very very helpful insights. When it comes to also brands, लोग बोलते हैं कि scale करने के लिए beyond a point you need to go omni-channel and stuff like that. You hit on this अभी कि मतलब it's not important to just digitally build, right?
Correct.
What do you think of these new age brands coming up जो एक point के बाद थोड़ी ceiling hit कर जाते हैं या stagnate हो जाते हैं? Is it important for them to consider offline? अगर offline करना है तो कैसे करना चाहिए? What do you think about this?
Offline is a very tough game. So Bella Vita, even for now, almost 75% of our revenues are online and not offline, because we're still trying to, now that we've cracked it, we've got the right people on board. Now we're building offline after achieving stability. After achieving the fact that we've hit a cap in online, वो धीरे धीरे जैसे market का CAGR बढ़ रहा है, हमारा भी CAGR साथ बढ़ेगा. As the market grows, we will grow online. Now is the time for offline. One mistake a lot of founders make is they feel कि यार हमारा achieve हो गया upper limit, अब हमें offline जाना चाहिए, हमें omni-channel जाना चाहिए. Take it slow. And people try to go crazy everywhere. Omni-channel doesn't mean कि आज आप फंड से पैसा उठाओ, इन्वेस्टमेंट उठाओ और आप 25 करोड़ रुपए लगा दो in 10 markets. Take it slow यार. A market, even marketing your product in your pin code is good enough. Do that. So you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go berserk. Start small. Omni-channel is very important, but go omni-channel where your right PMF is. One hack. If you have a D2C website and you want to go offline, सबसे पहले देखो आपके सबसे ज़्यादा ऑर्डर कौन से पिन कोड से आ रहे हैं, और सबसे पहले जाके स्टॉल शॉप सेटअप उस पिन कोड पे लगाओ. लोग देखते नहीं. फाउंडर बोलता है कि मैं गुड़गांव में बैठा हूँ, मेरी पहली शॉप गुड़गांव में खुलेगी. अरे तुम्हारे ऑर्डर हैदराबाद से आ रहे हैं, तो टेक अ फ्लाइट, सेटअप अ शॉप देयर, सेटअप योर ऑफिस देयर, गो लिव देयर फॉर 3 months, but set up a shop there, not where you stay, not in your comfort zone. You know, I've seen this. A lot of companies, when they go start their outdoor campaigns, I used to be in outdoor marketing before this, the first billboard they set up is outside the CEO's house, just to impress the bloody CEO. And the CEO says, मुझे नहीं देखना भैया मेरा बोर्ड, तू वहाँ लगा जहाँ पे मेरी audience है. So people make mistakes in just to please themselves and not think out of the box, and answers are very simple.
Yeah, no, this is very, very, very fascinating. I think very actionable learnings. When it comes to this, you know, like hiring, right? I want to understand कि now that you're doing things across the board, different skill set चाहिए. You've been through different sides of the company also. Now it's scaling. Starting में शायद innovation चाहिए. How do you look about hiring the right set of people?
Yeah, I'm a people's person, and my interviews are very, very bizarre. My interviews are very generic. My interviews are very organic. There is no way you can judge a person in 30 minutes or in 1 hour. No way at all. No way, right? When I get people, so I scout my own people, by the way. I don't rely on agencies. I go to social platforms, I do referrals, I go to LinkedIn a lot, I message a lot of people over there, although the response rate is very low, which I'm trying to solve for in something new. So I look for my own people. I create my own team. Our 8 CXOs have been handpicked by Lovecation and myself, you know, at Bella Vita, at, in fact, all our companies. मेरा पता इंटरव्यू कैसे होता है. Let's say you walk in and you say कि यार मैं इस प्रोफाइल के लिए आया हूँ, and I say जिवराज अच्छा यार देख ऐसा है, मेरे को आपसे ये एक्सपेक्टेशन है, कर लेगा? If you say कर लूँगा, and I say चल अब इनके एग्जाम्पल्स बता कि तूने ऐसा कुछ सिमिलर पहले क्या किया है. If I'm convinced, I'll tell you कि बॉस ठीक है, I like you, 1 hour conversation, great, come join me, but bro, before you join me, please be aware of the fact that अगर तू commit कर रहा है तो ये सब कर लेगा, you have to be a superstar. तो अगर कर सकता है तभी आना, नहीं कर सकता तो भैया वापस जाके मेरे को थैंक यू का व्हाट्सएप या मेरी एचआर को मना कर देना कि मैं नहीं आ पाऊंगा. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, बाय डूइंग दैट a lot of people actually end up saying no, and the people who turn up, 90% of them have proved to be superstars for us. Another example, we recently hired an international sales head for us. It was a fantastic journey. He said कि यार मुझे हायर कर लो. I said सर कैसे कर लूँ, मैं आपसे बात नहीं करी. And I was about to go for an international tour to set up markets for Bella Vita. I said आप एक काम करो, अभी मैं आपको हायर नहीं कर रहा, I'm going to pay for your ticket, your stay, and you come along with me and you lead for the next 5 days. And if this works out, on our flight back, I'll sign an offer letter for you.
Wow.
So, यार, fortune favors the brave. I was brave enough to tell him कि चल मेरे साथ चल, I have nothing to lose, come explore it. He was also brave enough to say कि आकाश, fuck it, let me come with you. Rather than saying कि नहीं यार सर मेरे को तो ऑफर लेटर दो, तब मैं जब ज्वाइन कर लूँगा तब चलूँगा. So he showed balls, he showed guts, and he was able to crack it with me, and now he's leading the entire offline. It's a great business, international offline. It's a great business for us now.
Brilliant.
So fortune
Awesome.
favors the brave.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows. And this people's person bit is very, very clear. I want to get on that, but uske pehle, this House of Brand wala concept became very famous. Ek do saal pehle, Thrasi for India was this constant theme. Now that you're building that yourself, right, and you also played around with multiple categories, you one work, you scale that really well, and now you're looking for cross-category products. How do you think this entire concept works, right? ये inorganic growth for brands by acquisition वो ज़्यादा अच्छी चलती है कि you have to incubate brands. How do you go about this entire piece?
ना वो चलता जो आपने बोला और ना ही आपको ब्रांड्स को incubate करना पड़ता है.
Okay.
You have to incubate the founder. Okay. The biggest thing we noticed about and House of Brands is a failure for most.
Yeah.
हाँ, आप कंपनी 2 करोड़ की खरीदो जो 2 करोड़ का फॉर एग्जांपल रेवेन्यू कर रही है और आप बोलो मेरा तो 2 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू हो गया. अरे आपने खरीदा है उस कंपनी को, वो ऑलरेडी 2 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू कर रही थी, आपने बिल्ड नहीं किया. सो फॉर अस हाउस ऑफ ब्रांड्स इज अ फेलियर if the founder isn't there. So I won't name, but what I've seen with House of Brands is what they do is there are so many House of Brand founders who are now working with me, who've sold their companies to a House of Brands and now they're working with us as an entrepreneur or a co-preneur.
And they're building for you.
And they're building for us. House of Brands में problem क्या है? The model ends up buying a brand, but let's go off the founder.
और उल्टा होना चाहिए.
उल्टा होना चाहिए यार. आप फाउंडर खरीदो. इट्स द फाउंडर हु इज रनिंग द कंपनी. एंड आज मैं सोचूं कि यार मैं बेवजिला चला लूंगा या मैं स्प्रिंगवेल मैट्रेस चला लूंगा या मैं जीएनसी या मैं गार्डियन फार्मेसी. इट कांट हैपन विदाउट द फाउंडर. यू हैव टू हैव अ पर्सन हु ईट्स, लिव्स एंड ब्रीथ्स द ब्रांड और हुज गॉट देयर पर्सनल वेल्थ क्रिएशन और अ पर्सनल एजेंडा स्टक टू इट. टुडे if I remove the fact that I will make hundreds of crores when Bella Vitta goes IPO, I'll stop working hard for it. If there's no skin in the game for me, why should I work hard for it? So similarly, if you've removed a founder and you only have employees working in a company or CXOs without a massive wealth creation target, you're screwed. Who's the one who's gunning for it? Who's the one who's there from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and even at midnight thinking about the fact कि मैं इस company को और grow कैसे करूँ? So House of Brands is only as powerful as the power of the founders you have running these brands. Otherwise it's a waste. आप brand खरीद के founder को निकाल के brand नहीं चला सकते.
So true.
It's a failed model.
Love it, love it. Very, very, very powerful. Let's come to your founder persona, right? You've spoken about the people's person that shows and you're just very authentic, candid yourself. ये कैसे आया? ये sales वाली energy, the people's person. Again, have you always been like this? Did you do something intrinsically? What have you noticed? Why is this important? How do you practice it?
Yeah, I think I've always been like this. I feel, I heard a statement recently that sometimes it's not about the opportunity, it's about the seat at the table. If you're with the right group of people, you get the right opportunities automatically. There are so many examples of people who've grown with me, have created great money for themselves. They've fulfilled their ambitions. घर लेना था, घर ले ली, गाड़ी लेनी थी, गाड़ी ले लिया. अपना नया स्टार्टअप करने के लिए कैपिटल चाहिए था, वो मुझसे मिल गया. Similarly, when I hang out with people like Ashutosh Tapadia, Lavkesh Kapoor, and their circle, I incidentally get so many opportunities that I never thought I'll have. Okay. Right? I've always been a people's person and I've always believed in giving chances to everyone. So being a people's person is very important. लोगों को मौके दो, खुद भी लो, लोगों को भी दो, and you'll find a network of people who will work for you as in not आपके लिए काम करेंगे, but who will work to better your life in a certain way. So yeah, being a people's person being accessible is very important. I think I'm one of those founders, I don't know, but I'm one of those people that anyone in my company can reach out to me. Yaar. I play pool in my office with my office boy, and he's become an expert now playing pool with me. He's better than me now. So you have to be a people's person. You have to have a persona where anyone can come and talk to you. यार मेरे को मेरे कंपनी की कितनी बातें पता लगती हैं लोगों से, क्योंकि वो मेरे पास आके बता देते हैं कि सर आज ना ये हुआ, पीछे से ये हो गया, आपको पता नहीं चला, एक बारी देख लो. So it's very, very important to be available for people. I have an open door policy, yaar. I mean, it goes without saying.
And that's brilliant, and it shows. I mean, the first time we spoke also, it was so organic. मुझे लग नहीं रहा this is the first time we're meeting, but it doesn't feel like it at all. एक बार अगर डबल क्लिक कर सकते हैं, how can other people also grasp this skill, right? Because founder होना is such a people first business, right? अपने investors को, future employees को, team को, customers को, you are always selling, right? You have to have this innate ability, और innate ability सबके पास नहीं होती. So you have to gather it. So what do you think like other founders can do to also absorb, give great energy, make it happen? Because it's so difficult, right? Founder होना इतना easy नहीं होता. And on top of that, if you add the fact that हर इंसान के साथ अच्छा बनो, time दो, प्रायोरिटाइज करो, दैट्स लाइक एन एडेड लेयर. कैसे कर सकते हैं?
यार आपको सेल्फिश होना पड़ता है. आप प्लीज़ ये सोचो कि आप लाइफ में जो भी करोगे, अगर आप सोचो कि मुझे कैसे बेनिफिट करेगा, आप सब कर पाओगे.
Okay.
As long as you be selfish. Okay. Today I'm at your podcast. We are connecting. And before this we spoke, after this we'll speak. But from a conversation, we were able to ideate 2-3 concepts. And I've helped you in certain ways and you've helped me in many ways. And I know this is going to be very fruitful for us. I'm selfish. I'm giving gyan to people over here. Why? I'm selfish. I'm selling myself, right? आप जितने भी podcast interviews देखो, the top guys, the biggest wealth creators in the world, the richest people, today everyone gets asked this question that today if you lose everything, what will be that job you'll take up? What does everyone say? I'll pick up a sales job. Yeah. Everyone says I'll pick up a sales job. कोई नहीं बोलता मैं टेक प्रोडक्ट बना लूंगा. सेल्स जॉब आपको डे वन पे आपके लिविंग के लिए पैसा देता है, राइट? एंड इफ यू कैन सेल, यू कैन डू एनीथिंग. सो सेल्स मीन्स एनीथिंग. यार एवरी सिंगल ह्यूमन बीइंग इज अ सेलू एंड पीपल डोंट रियलाइज दैट. आप अपनी बीवी को बेच रहे हो, अपने आप को ऑन अ डेली बेसिस. बच्चों को बेच रहे हो, अपने आप को. पेरेंट्स को बेच रहे हो, बॉस को बेच रहे हो, अपने सबॉर्डिनेट्स को बेच रहे हो, अपने पियर्स को बेच रहे हो. आप इवन एक ऊबर ड्राइवर को या ओला ड्राइवर को बेचते हो कि भैया प्लीज़ आ जाओ यार, कैंसिल मत करना प्लीज़, बहुत अर्जेंसी है. तो वो बेचना ही होता है. You're selling yourself the entire day. Even when a woman is negotiating at Sarojini Nagar कि नहीं भैया ये 1000 रुपये की चीज़ 300 रुपये में दे दो, वो अपने आप को बेच रही होती है कि भैया मुझे दे दो ना, मैं 4 दोस्तों को भी बताऊंगी, वो भी आके खरीदेंगे. So you are a selu. Everyone is a selu. If you can be a selu on your daily basis, but selu for the right reasons. आप किसी का बेवकूफ़ नहीं बना सकते. Selu for the right reasons and people see through you यार. So if you're selling with the right intent, I sold Bella Vitta to my investors with the right intent. I sold Bella Vitta to my consumers with the right intent. I sold Bella Vitta's journey to my employees with the right intent. अगर intent right है
तो figure out
हो जाता है. आपको सेलू बनना पड़ेगा. You have to open up and talk about it. You have to talk about what you want openly. Don't be sly.
Yeah.
जो दिल में है वो बोलो. आज मेरे से कोई पूछता है कि यार आप बेला वीटा क्यों करते हो, आप बिजनेस क्यों करते हो? Yes, I want to change the world. Yes, I want the entire country should smell bloody amazing. But अगर मेरे को इस काम के लिए पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे तो मैं कल बंद कर दूंगा. I'm doing this for money, yaar. I'm doing this to have a comfortable plush life. It's as simple as that. And that's what everyone should freely admit. किसी को स्टार्टअप करना है तो बहुत कम ऐसे लोग हैं जिनसे मैं पूछता हूँ कि यार मान लो तुम्हें स्टार्टअप करे हो, अगले 15 साल तक तुम्हें कोई पैसा नहीं मिलेगा, तुम्हें साइकिल पे ऑफिस आना है जाना है, तुम्हारे को सिर्फ बेसिक नीड्स के पैसे मिलेंगे. 90% से नो, वी डोंट वांट टू डू इट. बट सोशल मीडिया पे जाके दिल से नहीं यार, आई एम डूइंग दिस फॉर अ कॉज. नहीं भैया, तुम पैसे के लिए कर रहे हो. कॉज कर रहे हो तो नौकरी कर लो ना किसी के यहाँ पे. हैव एन एवरेज लाइफ.
Love it. Very, very brutal truths which are very important to hear. Thank you so much, Aakash, for sharing. आगे ये सोचते हैं, राइट, लाइक द अदर एस्पेक्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ इज नाउ दैट you've reached a certain stature और सक्सेस बोल सकते हैं बहुत लोग, राइट? What is the driving factor still? I know, मतलब, you know, the money will only grow till a point and will continuously growing. Now it's about keeping score, right? Like become the richest, whatever, right? But what is the motivating factor now? And now that you have this high leverage, right? आपको आता है brand कैसे build करना है, and you're now the big thinker, ambition. How do you leverage that to your full advantage? What is the level of ambition that you have?
Here, my ambition comes a lot from my two partners. I'll tell you a true story. When I made a lot of money and then I saw कि मेरे पास जो reserved equity है हमारी companies में, that's going to create crazy wealth for me. I sat with my two partners and my mentors, Mr. Tabadia and Lavkesh, and I said कि यार सर मन कर रहा है ब्रेक ले रहा हूँ, 1-1.5 साल का चिल करूँ, go for a holiday with my wife and kids, spend time, relax. क्या ज़रूरत है, आपने इतना पैसा मुझे कमा के दे दिया है कि मज़ा आएगा लाइफ में. तो then I looked at him. He's a multi whatever, I don't want to mention his numbers, but massively wealthy. He's still working very hard. Then I spoke to a lot of other people who have achieved a lot in life and who are working very hard, and I said, what keeps you going? And they all said one same thing, कि यार और करें क्या? What else is there to do? या तो charity कर लेते हैं, but how do we keep ourselves busy? And then I realized that, and true answer, I realized that यार खाली बैठने से तो भी कुछ नहीं होगा. I'm just going to deplete my wealth and deplete my mental status anyway. And then the ambition to say, yaar, if I could create something for myself and I know the journey, then why can't I be selfish and piggyback? Okay, now here's the truth. What keeps me going? If today I can have young founders who want to create wealth as much as me or like me and create names and create impact and create everything they want, and I can on day one work with them, piggyback on them. I'm being selfish. Piggyback on them. वो अगर 1 रुपये कमाएंगे तो मैं 10 रुपये कमाऊंगा, right? piggyback on them, guide them, teach them, fulfill their purpose, fulfill my purpose. That's what keeps me going. To keep meeting people on a daily basis who come up with ideas. The ones I like, I fund. The ones I like, I nurture. Between all three of us, our partners. And they grow, we grow. It's as simple. And it keeps our mind going. कि यार हमारा जो learning है, if we can put it passively. So it's very simple यार. We look for drivers, give them a car and become their Google Maps. So a driver is a founder. The car is our funding and our infrastructure, and the Google Map is our advice. But let the founder drive the car. And पता भी नहीं चलता कि एक Suzuki Bentley कब बन जाती है. And that's what keeps us going here. If growing and going, that if we can do the same that we did for ourselves. मेरे को mentorship नहीं मिली थी जो मुझे चाहिए थी. When I was growing and I started looking for people, I reached out to my uncles, dad's friends, and said कि यार LinkedIn पे तो लोगों को मैसेज किया कि यार मुझे समझा दो, मेरे में स्पार्क है, मेरे में फायर है, मैं कुछ करना चाहता हूँ, प्लीज़ हेल्प मी, गिव मी गाइडेंस, गिव मी डायरेक्शन. No one was there. So that void I try to fill by being there for people, saying अगर आप में spark है, ambition है, you want some guidance, you want someone to pat you on the shoulder and say I'm there. I think that's what fulfills my purpose now.
That's phenomenal. So nice to hear that, and a very, very interesting model. This has been very interesting. We've spoken about a bunch of things. Towards the end, I'd love to also understand your persona on a deeper level, right? And one question I ask a lot of founders is कि अगर आपके friends को आपको describe करना होता, what would they say about Aakash?
Yeah, they say Aakash talks impractical things, unachievable things. They usually laugh at most of my conversations. And अगर आकाश के साथ 10 दिन लगातार बैठ जाओगे तो आप फिर फाउंडर बन के ही निकलोगे या एंटरप्रेन्योर बन के निकलोगे. Because since the beginning, I mean since class 12th or more than that, I think I've had this excitement of scouting a business opportunity in everything. In everything a person does, right? So there's a friend of mine who trades in hose pipes, right? Very big distributor of hose pipes. मैंने उसको बोल के अपनी ब्रांड शुरू कर उसको वो करवा दिया. So I think a lot of my friends would say he's a jolly guy who talks a lot. I use my senses the other way around. There are 4 senses for incoming, 1 sense for outgoing. I do the other way around. I speak more than I listen sometimes. And they'll say he's a fun guy to be with, larger than life, flamboyant, wants to have the best of everything. But very well, I have a lot of empathy with people. So I'm the first guy to be there when anyone needs help, and I expect the same from my peers as well. So my friends would say, "Yaar, a jolly guy. We love being around him, but a guy highly passionate to scout for an opportunity in every single thing."
Amazing. That's one of the best explanations I've heard, and I'm sure every bit of that is true, and it shows. When we talk about, this success from a money perspective, right? What are the softer aspects of things that you enjoy? What are the softer aspects of life that you enjoy beyond the built a company, made wealth?
So help me understand what you mean by softer aspects.
I don't know, like the little things that make you happy. I mean, it could be, I don't know, friend's birthday, it could be family time, it could be any of those things.
Yeah, seeing people around me happy makes me happy. Whatever. And helping people there. I mean, अब वो ये problem क्या है? When I say I truly like helping people, people viewing this would be like, यार क्या बोल रहा है? मतलब क्या है? So honestly, मेरे में एक बहुत बड़ा void है that when I needed help in my life, there was no one there. Absolutely no one. Everyone was selfish, and I understand why. I have seen people who have helped, not coming back to me and giving me back what they promised. So there have been cases where I've loaned money to people who said कि यार भाई सर मैं आपको इतने टाइम में वापस कर दूंगा, आज वो गायब है. So now I know why a lot of successful people are also selfish and not to help others because they get nothing in return, right? And I'm learning the hard way as well. Maybe I'm not as helpful 5 years down the line. Maybe I become a bit more, stoned by heart. So I love seeing people around me happy. I love everyone fulfilling their goals and desires. And softer elements, yahi hai, Jivraj, spending time with family, traveling. I love traveling. So
nice.
If I look at my last 12 months, I've taken more than 6-7 holidays. And I
Wow.
combine that with my work usually.
Yeah.
So wherever I have to go, I figure out and try to get a meeting or two if I'm in a different city. So I do my leisure and work as well. And trying out new things, yeah. So I experiment a lot. I would be learning a new skill today. I'm going to a monastery in a few weeks just to spend 3-4 days with monks and to understand their ways of living. And then uske kuch time baad I'm in a different metropolitan city trying out different things with a few Americans and a few South American people. So trying out different things and getting experiences keeps me happy.
Very interesting, very interesting. All of this also points to the fact कि I've observed कि consumer founders के पास customer insights best होती हैं and they have very different ways to gather it. In your case, I'm just seeing this passion for people, passion for different experiences, new things, travel. That's how you perhaps gain customer insights. If I had to ask you to describe the Indian consumer and what they want, what would you say?
मैंने पहले ही बोला था. For me, an Indian consumer is lazy. Okay. An Indian consumer wants full वसूली of their पैसा and they want miracle products. कि यार मैंने आज पैसा दिया है तो मुझे कल रिजल्ट चाहिए. बॉस नहीं मिला तो आपका प्रोडक्ट घट गया है. डार्क सर्कल 4 हफ्ते में 4 दिन में खत्म हो जाना चाहिए. That's what Indian consumers want, and which is fair. आप पैसा दे रहे हो तो आप राजा हो. The person who's paying the money is the king, right? And if they're paying money and expecting a miracle, try to give them a miracle. Or if you can't give them a miracle, be honest to them and show them कि बॉस ये आप पैसा खर्च रहे हो, आपको मिरेकल नहीं मिलेगा, बट हाँ ये कमिटमेंट है इतने. बी वेरी ट्रू टू देम अबाउट देयर एक्सपेक्टेशंस. एंड यार I've done all my customer research myself and I still do it. So I'm on the streets making people try perfumes, making people try our coffee. I've visited the Springville mattress store so many times to see यार लोगों को mattress में क्या पसंद आ रहा है. So it's very important for you to speak to consumers yourself and don't rely on third party data. बहुत सारे फाउंडर्स क्या करते हैं यार, मैंने ना इस कंपनी को हायर किया, उसने आके रिसर्च करी, ये रिजल्ट्स आए. अरे भैया प्लीज़ अंडरस्टैंड, जो इंसान उस कंपनी में ग्राउंड लेवल पे रिसर्च कर रहा है वो 10, 15, 20 हज़ार की सैलरी पे है, उसको नहीं है इंटरेस्ट, उसको सिर्फ अपने कॉलम्स भरने हैं और आपको डेटा देना है. दैट्स व्हाई लॉट ऑफ डेटा इज़ रॉन्ग. बट द फाउंडर्स हु आर देयर ऑन द स्ट्रीट गेटिंग अ ट्रू फीडबैक अबाउट देयर प्रोडक्ट, it's gold. There's nothing like it. So no matter how big you become in life, no matter how up you go in hierarchy, if you're not connected to ground level कि आपके customer को क्या चाहिए, you're screwed. Yeah. And that's one thing I do on a very regular basis. I'm there and it shows in my videos also. I shoot videos where I'm there talking to people, I'm making them try perfumes. I have discontinued so many products just on the feedback of people.
Amazing. Love it, I think. Yes, Sari is very, very, very helpful. One thing that we were discussing before the conversation started was, this power of manifestation and feeling like you belong, right? Talk to us about what that means. I mean, we were talking about it in different contexts, but how is it important as a founder? What do you mean by that? How do you live it?
I am a product of manifestation. And the entire credit of that goes to my mother and my wife. They both have been products of manifestation, and मेरे को नहीं समझ आता था manifestation till a certain time when they taught me it. And for everyone who listens to this podcast, manifestation से बड़ी कोई भी चीज़ नहीं है. आप जो सोचते हो आप वो ही हो. So today, if I think I am the biggest perfume guy in India, my company is the biggest perfume company globally, I will be that sooner or later. If Jivraj, you think, yaar, my podcast is the biggest podcast globally, and you live in that frequency, you'll become that. I'm working out. So founders, so one thing which founders lose out is on their health and friends on their journey. So I lost on a lot of friends and I lost on a lot of my health also. Now I'm trying to gain it back, right? By working out, by being active, by eating right. But one thing which I learned was every day I look in the mirror and say, dude, you're looking fucking amazing. Right? So the moment you start thinking you're looking amazing, you're feeling amazing, you're great, you're doing, not I will be amazing. That's wrong. वो आप यूनिवर्स को कह रहे हो कि जब बना देना. जब आप यूनिवर्स को बोल रहे हो कि मैं आज ये हूँ, यूनिवर्स starts making you that. If you keep saving for rainy days will come. It's as simple as that. आप rainy day fund बना दो और आप बोले यार ये fund मेरा rainy days के लिए. बॉस rainy days आ जाएंगे. अपने आप आ जाएंगे क्योंकि आप अट्रैक्ट कर रहे हो, राइट? बट इफ यू से कि यार आई एम डूइंग दिस इन लाइफ, आई हैव क्रिएटेड द बिगेस्ट परफ्यूम ब्रांड, आई हैव क्रिएटेड द बिगेस्ट mattress brand, I've created the biggest podcast, I've created the biggest skincare brand, whatever that may be, I've created the biggest marketplace, whatever. If you're living in that frequency and if you keep saying that, if you keep lying to your universe, it happens. Universe को सच झूठ नहीं पता. Universe को बस ये पता है कि जो आप बोल रहे हो वो हो रहा है. तो ऑनेस्टली बता रहा हूँ, जब बेला वीटा महीने का 40 करोड़ रुपए नहीं भी करती थी, मैं तब भी लोगों को बोलता था कि हम महीने का 50 करोड़ रुपए करते हैं, उन लोगों को जिनको मैटर नहीं करता. आई वोंट गो एंड लाई टू समवन, बट टू माई फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली जिनको नहीं पता मेरे नंबर्स, जिनको नहीं फर्क पड़ता, आकाश कितना रेवेन्यू करते हो, मैं कहा 50 करोड़ महीना करते हैं यार हम लोग, एंड दिस इज अबाउट ईयर बैक. आज हम करते हैं बिकॉज आई केप्ट सेइंग दैट. अब मैं दुनिया को ये बोलता हूँ कि यार मेरा एक सिंपल सा एम है कि जब भी गोरे इंडिया में आए, व्हेन पीपल कम इनटू इंडिया फॉर टूरिज्म, वापस जाके ये बोले यार पता नहीं इंडिया में ऐसा क्या, एवरीवन स्मेल्स अमेजिंग. फ्रॉम एन ऑटो ड्राइवर टू माई टूर गाइड एट ताजमहल टू माई रिसेप्शनिस्ट एट माई होटल टू इवन द गाय हु हैव गॉन फॉर अ मीटिंग विद, एवरीवन इज स्मेलिंग अमेजिंग. यार इंडिया में बेला वीटा लगा रहे हैं लोग,
वाह,
एवरीवन इज स्मेलिंग अमेजिंग. तो आप इस फ्रीक्वेंसी में रहोगे एंड मैनिफेस्टेशंस हैपन. आई मीन आई एम टेलिंग यू, आई वाज इन सैन फ्रांसिस्को फॉर 3 days इन द यूएस विद जीरो एजेंडा. मैं वहाँ पे सिर्फ मी एंड माई वाइफ वर जस्ट चिलिंग इन सैन फ्रांसिस्को, ड्राइविंग अराउंड. क्यों? क्योंकि आई एम ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट. वेल आई एम बिल्डिंग अ प्रोडक्ट विच बी द बिगेस्ट मार्केट प्लेस इन टाइम्स टू कम फॉर प्रोफेशनल्स. ओके, सारी मार्केट प्लेसेज आज की डेट में, लिंक्डइन, इंस्टा, सब लोग सिलिकॉन वैली से आए हैं, राइट? द माफिया इज देयर. So I was just there for 3 days, living, eating, breathing that air and that vibe, saying when everything has come out of here, I'm going to take this vibe with me and create the Silicon Valley in India now. Create this in India. So it's all about living and breathing your frequency. Once you're doing that, the universe starts giving it to you automatically.
amazing, amazing. I love this. This is so powerful. This is very, very good. I'm so glad you mentioned it. If I had to ask you to highlight one superpower, आपने बहुत सारी बोली, right? People's person, manifestation, selling, being a ball of energy, and just like being absolutely on point all the time. But if you had to highlight one superpower, what would that be?
Expressing what you want. Expressing what you truly want. To anyone and everyone. लोग झूठ बोलते हैं. लोग एक्सप्रेस नहीं करते. मेरे को चाहिए X, मैं बोलूँगा Y. मेरे को आज पैसा चाहिए, आप मेरे से पूछो यार फॉर जस्ट एग्जांपल कि आकाश क्यों कर रहे हो ये सब, और मैं बोलो ऐसे ही यार मज़ा आता है यार, बड़ा अच्छा लगता है यार ये वो. नहीं ब्रो, आई एम डूइंग दिस फॉर मनी. आई एम हियर टू मेक मनी. बी ऑनेस्ट अबाउट व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. सो मेनी टाइम्स between me, Lavkesh, Mr. Tapadia, his elder brother, people who are in the family, they ask me कि यार अच्छा ये करना चाहता है, क्यों करना चाहता है, and I tell them bluntly on their face कि यार मेरे को ये इसलिए करना है. And between us at Ananta Capital, we have this rule. It's a 24-hour rule where we say, and it's created by Ashu Tapadia, he says कि यार तुम्हारे दिमाग में कुछ भी बात है वो 24 घंटे में क्लियर करो. चाहे तुम US हो और मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया हूँ और wherever, we are in different time zones. The phone is always there. If I want to communicate something to you, I will not wait to meet you in person. The phone is there, WhatsApp is there, messaging is there, DMs, whatever is there. कुछ भी बोलना है 24 घंटे में कंटिन्यू करो. लोग ना अपने दिल में गिले शिकवे लेके बैठ जाते हैं एंड वो चीज़ खलती रहती है एंड इट क्रिएट्स एन एटमोसफियर ऑफ, आज जेंजी बोलता है बीटी, बैड ट्रिप. सबकी बीटी हो जाती है. करेक्ट. आपके ऊपर वालों की भी बीटी हो जाती है, नीचे वालों की भी बीटी हो जाती है, फैमिली की भी बीटी हो जाती है. आप बीटी में रहो ही मत ना यार. आपको लाइफ में जो चाहिए आप एक्सप्रेस करो. देयर वाज अ टाइम व्हेन आई वांटेड मनी एंड आई टोल्ड मिस्टर तपाड़िया कि यार आशु सर मेरे को एग्जिट चाहिए थोड़ा सा, मेरे को इतने पैसे चाहिए. मेरे को क्या करना है? मैं कहा मेरे को 1000 गज के घर में रहना है. एंड ही सेड तू पागल है. आई सेड नहीं यार, आई वांट मनी. ही सेड यू वांट टू सेल योर इक्विटी टुडे व्हिच कैन बी वर्थ 10x इन 3 years. आई सेड मेरे को आज उसकी ज़रूरत है. आई वांट टू लिव इन दैट फ्रीक्वेंसी एंड आई नो यू आर देयर विद मी एंड आई नो वी आर टुगेदर, विल क्रिएट मोर थिंग्स. But I expressed to him what I truly want, and I'm living in a 1,000 square yard house today. We'll be shifting soon. But I was able to express what I want to make me happy. लोग ये नहीं कर पाते. So biggest superpower is honesty to express what you want. I was honest with you, Jivraj, to tell you कि भाई मैं तेरे से इसलिए मिल रहा हूँ, मेरे को तेरे से ये help चाहिए. I could have sugar-coated it, told you in 3-4 different meetings. मेरा काम लेट हो जाता. Correct. Wow. And you like it or not? If you don't like it, you won't do it for me. If you like it, you'll do it for me. Are simple. Yeah. But if I express my feelings to enough number of people, I will truly find that person who can fulfill that desire for me. 100%. So express, yeah. Tell people what you want.
I love it. Love it. I think I don't know. This is perhaps the best piece of advice I've heard on the podcast till now. I love it. This is very, very interesting.
I'll give you another example of expressing.
Batao.
I've seen a lot of funds who meet founders. I've been a founder and gone to funds who'll never tell you on your face. आपको लटकाएंगे. और funds नहीं, jobs में भी यार आपको लटकाएंगे. Correct. करते हैं, बताते हैं. People have this practice कि यार उनके पास आंसर रेडी है, बट नहीं, let's linger this for 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months, whatever. Let's get. if you'll meet any founder who's pitched me their business idea, brand, product, whatever, I tell them exactly on their face, मेरे को तेरी कंपनी में इतनी इक्विटी चाहिए, मैं इतना पैसा लगाऊंगा, तू इतना कमाएगा और मैं इतना कमाऊंगा. अगर तू ये बात डाइजेस्ट कर सकता है, if you can accept this, come work with me. If you can't, let's not work together. But I'm the guy to tell you on your face that this is why I'm doing this, this is my intent. And I tell them on the face, if you've got a rock solid product, I'll tell you, I'll praise you. Okay, boss, you've done something killer, and I am greedy, hence I want in.
Wow.
And people find it overwhelming. A lot of people don't come back to me also, but the ones who come back make it big. So we have a 98% success rate of sorts. Yeah. So Ananta Capital has an
Insane.
IRR of 800 odd % in their first year of fund.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
And because we've been very, very expressive with everyone to what we want.
Brilliant, amazing. I love this. Wow. Probably just short of words now because I just want to absorb everything and just, iterate on top of it. But I think this has been very interesting. I don't want to kill the buzz, but if I had to really ask you, what is it that you fear? What would you say?
Wow. What a question, yaar. I fear death a lot. I can be general about it.
Yeah, please.
I fear death a lot. I mean, people say embrace it. It's the only truth. I fear death a lot. What happens when I die? I fear the loss of loved ones around me. And I also fear loneliness. I am a person who cannot be alone. I cannot take a solo trip together. I cannot take a solo trip.
Right.
I fear loneliness. I have to be surrounded by people. I can't even sleep alone. I'm that fearful of being lonely. I don't know why, but that's how it is. And that's the honest truth. I want to be around people all the time. I want to have that sense of blanketing or cushioning around, and that might be my insecurity, but something I'm trying to figure out. But I want to be surrounded with quality people all the time. Life has to be fun.
Amazing.
All the time.
Love it. Staying true to your word and expressing exactly what you believe in. Amazing. For the second last question, and since we have the benefit of having you here, if you could share, I don't know, this is very generic or I steer away from this, but 4-5 areas of consumer trends या white spaces जहाँ आपको लगता है बड़ी कंपनी नहीं बनी है और बनेगी.
You're connecting people is a massive space. Connecting people instantly with the right intent is a massive space जिसपे मैं build कर रहा हूँ, and I'll be coming up with something very, very soon. That I feel is a massive, void. Building consumer products for the super masses, right? A person who's earning 15, 20, 25K a month, maybe someone who drives an Uber, someone who's a housekeeping boys over here, creating product for the true mass consumer while ensuring the quality is there and the affordability is a huge market, and uske liye opportunity bahut badi hai. Why? We all know that consumer products are not as expensive as we sell them. We have a 10, 15 perfumes mein Bella Vita just does a 3 to a 4x kind of a markup that we'll do, but we do in consumer businesses like skincare mein we used to have a 10x markup because marketing costs are expensive, etc. But if we're able to create products or services for people at 20, 25K a month, I think that'll be fantastic. EdTech, I feel, is again an opportunity, but not the tech part of it. Physical education while giving practicality. Teaching people mannerisms. यार इंडिया में अभी तक लोगों को यही नहीं पता कि अगर लिफ्ट के सामने खड़े हो, एलिवेटर के सामने खड़े हो, तो पहले लोगों को बाहर आने दो, फिर अंदर जाओ. A lot of people don't know that when you're traveling in a flight, जो middle seat वाला passenger होता है ना, दोनों armrests उनके हैं. A lot of people don't know this. So a basic of mannerism, a person who's flying, if you're on the middle seat, both the armrests belong to you, right? And because I'm a very last moment traveler, I always have 2-3 flights booked, and I wouldn't know when I'm flying out. There are so many times, if I'm not flying business, and that's a bit of show off, there are so many times I'm not flying business, I'll get the middle seat because the seat won't be available. I don't do a web check-in. And I've had people who are window pe hai, aisle pe hai, who are taking up the whole seat, right?
And you've had to tell them.
I want to tell them. I have a video on my phone all the time, a YouTube video saved which talks about mannerisms. उसमें एक आता है कि middle seat आपकी है.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of basic mannerisms are missing. यार education, अब आप लोगों को क्या ही सिखाओगे, गूगल पे सब मिलता है. वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 कब हुआ मेरे को नहीं याद, आपको भी नहीं याद होगा, मैं गूगल पे देख के बता दूंगा.
Correct.
हिमायूं जहांगीर किसका बेटा था, मैं गूगल पे देख के बता दूंगा. राइट? कैलकुलस नहीं चाहिए, मुझे मैनरिज्म्स चाहिए, मुझे कम्युनिकेशन चाहिए, मुझे द स्किल ऑफ टॉकिंग चाहिए, मुझे स्किल ऑफ वॉकिंग चाहिए, मुझे द स्किल ऑफ प्लीजिंग अ पर्सन चाहिए. लड़की से कैसे बात करनी है, लड़के से कैसे बात करनी है, बड़ों से कैसे, मुझे वो सीखना है. इंटरव्यू में कैसे बैठना है, मुझे वो सीखना है. प्रैक्टिकल स्किल्स. आज अगर एक स्कूल खुल जाए ना, उसका नाम ही प्रैक्टिकलिटी हो, आई विल बी द फर्स्ट वन टू पुट माई किड इन दैट स्कूल, where he can just go, learn that what are the practical aspects of life. It's a big thought, but if someone can start doing this to the masses, for the masses, I think you can create a massive talent pool from there. And those talent pools se startups karwao.
Amazing, lovely. If you could be the CEO of any company in the world, which would it be?
My next company.
Very good.
my next company. I think I'm trying to build a mix of a Instagram, a LinkedIn, a Facebook, a Naukri, a lot of it. So my next company is what I would love to be the CEO of.
Can't wait to hear all about it in a couple of months, and I'm sure the world is going to witness it soon. So that's going to be fun. Wow, last question. I wish we didn't have to end this, but this has been so fascinating.
We can go longer if you want. Fair enough.
No, I think just we want to say something as well, but this has been like super interesting. Last question थोड़ा generic है, but I'd love to understand कि if you could go back to that day when you were starting Bella Vitta, right? तब पता नहीं है perfumes के बारे में, what not, you're on skincare. What would you tell yourself?
So learnings from today that I would give myself 5 years back. There are a few actually. Yuvraj, you want me to say 1 or 2 or 3 or 4?
Take as much time. Because I want to appeal to that Aakash who's in the audience and is looking at you and be like, okay, I want to build the next Bella Vitta. I want to be like him. I want to be on that chair in 5 years. Great. How does he make it happen?
Okay. Pehla kaam, think small.
Okay.
I would tell myself, dude, think small. Don't think so big. Halaki, actually I don't want to tell myself that. I want to tell today's founders because I thought small that time also. So think small. पहले 5 लाख रुपए का revenue करो, फिर 15, फिर 30, फिर 45, then 1 crore, then 2 crores. So think small and build bit by bit. How do you eat an elephant? Bit by bit, right? So create your startup bit by bit. Second, अपना काम स्वयं करो. If you're starting a startup, so today in my company, if everyone goes away, except for my finance guy, because I don't know finances, I don't know how to do a tally or softwares and finances. Except for my finance guy, if everyone leaves today, I can do everything on my own. I have learned everything and then outsourced it to a team member. So अपना काम स्वयं करो, खुद सीखो और पहले खुद करो. A lot of founders waste time, energy, money by saying मैंने ये आइडिया सोच लिया है, अब पहले मुझे फंडिंग चाहिए ताकि मैं महीने की 25 लाख रुपए की टीम बना सकूं. नहीं चाहिए ब्रो. आप पहले अपना महीने का 25 लाख रुपए का खुद से या 1-2 लोग रख के रेवेन्यू क्रिएट करो. टीम नहीं ले सकते तो 1-2 लोगों को आउटसोर्स कर दो. बहुत सारी एजेंसीज हैं, बट यूट्यूब पे आज सब कुछ मिलता है. कोर्सेज हैं, सब कुछ है. कोर्स भी नहीं तो मेंटोर्स हैं. रीच आउट टू पीपल लाइक यू एंड मी टू गेट क्विक एडवाइसेस, राइट? बट लर्न टू डू इट योरसेल्फ फर्स्ट, बिकॉज अगर आपको खुद नहीं आता होगा
तो समझ नहीं
नहीं, आपको लोग बेवकूफ बना के चले जाएंगे. यू कीप हायरिंग एंड फायरिंग.
Correct.
You'll get a guy in, he'll take you for a ride for a year, then you'll fire him.
Correct.
And you'll never know how to make this work. So apna kaam, I learned Amazon ads myself. I learned listings myself. I learned listing hacks myself. I did Amazon Pie myself. Everything I learned myself. I can make perfume myself in my own home today.
Wow.
I know how to make creams. I know how to make a shampoo. I learned everything myself. Just to be, and when you learn yourself, you innovate automatically. जब आपको पता होता है ये चीज़ कैसे बनती है, so you know how to innovate.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. Second is अपना काम स्वयं करो. Third, there is nothing called work-life balance. अगर आप सोचते हो कि मैं स्टार्टअप करूंगा और मैं वर्क-लाइफ बैलेंस भी अचीव करूंगा, नहीं होता. It's only a work balance. You balance your work in the morning, you balance your work in the afternoon, you balance your work at night. Give time to your friends, give time to your family and your kids, not to your friends in the beginning. But if you're regretful of the fact कि यार work life balance नहीं है, मेरे दोस्त मूवी पे जा रहे हैं, मैं ये नहीं, it doesn't exist. Right. Fourth, stop blaming others for your failures. And I used to blame people a lot. I used to, यार उसने मेरी हेल्प नहीं करी, उसने मुझे नहीं बताया, काश वो मुझे गाइड कर देता तो मैं ये कर लेता. Stop it यार, खुद सीख लो. कोई किसी की हेल्प नहीं करता और फ्री में तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं करता. आप इक्विटी दो लोगों को. Fifth, and this is not an advice for me, but an advice for founders. Stop being so possessive about your equity. I have never been possessive about my equity. In the sense, if I know a certain person is here to help me and can do a fantastic, I gave away 65% of my equity to Ananta Capital in the first tranche. And that's why, because of Ananta Capital, because of Ashutosh Tapadia, Lavkesh Kapoor, their entire network, family, structuring, we are the biggest perfume company today. Had I not, I don't think so I'd be the biggest perfume company today. Very honestly. A lot of founders who laughed at me that time have come to my office recently to sell their companies to us. Where the company is still not profitable. Right? We are. So don't be so, insecure about your equity. Let it go. अपना एक दिमाग में टारगेट नंबर फिक्स कर लो कि मेरे को 25 करोड़ कमाने हैं, 30 करोड़ कमाने हैं, 100 करोड़ कमाने हैं. अगर वो अचीव हो रहा है, then it does not matter how much equity you hold. As long as your number is being achieved by working with the right set of people. And dar mat bhatko. Be very quick to select the right partners you want to work with, the right investors you want to work with, and then stick with them and grow with them. If you can find strategic investors who can take away the pain point of you going and raising funds every 6 months and focus only on your dhanda, do that. That's the best. Stop saying कि नहीं यार मैं पहले 100 लोगों का एंजल राउंड करूंगा, फिर मैं सीरीज ए में इतना करूंगा, बी में इतना करूंगा, सी में. Too many chefs are going to spoil there. So a lot of people who've made real wealth, I think one thing I've seen in them, they've all had strategics to back them. It's not been the other way around. They've had strategics to back them. So today I have money, I can back someone who was an Aakash 5 years ago and make money for him and for me. Because we know how to make. स्टार्टअप में धंधा करना बहुत लोगों को आता है, स्टार्टअप चलाना आता है, पैसा कमाना नहीं आता. सो हाउ टू क्रिएट वेल्थ is I'm a huge emissary of. I love teaching that to people, and we love doing that for founders at Ananta as well, and we've done that.
Brilliant. Wow, what an amazing end to the conversation. Maybe how to build wealth and mannerism is a separate podcast altogether.
Correct.
But this was so much fun. I don't remember the last time I was smiling throughout a podcast, and this is definitely one of the best I've ever had a conversation on. Thank you so much, Aakash, for your time. This has been absolutely incredible, and I'm sure everybody listening to the end of this, which will be a lot of people, will attest to it. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a pleasure.
Happy to be here. Thanks a lot, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you
Lovely.
so much. Thank you.
Thanks, man.